I say, I don't know, I don't know, I don't know. Fighting don't seem to solve anything no more. Don't need to reminisce on memories that fade away.
Hey y'all, it's your queen YaYa, and you're tuning in to On My Hustle Reloaded. Today, I just want to introduce y'all to our very, very first guest on our very first show, Reloaded.
Hey you guys, you're tuning in to On My Hustle Reloaded. It's me, your queen, YaYa. And everybody, thank you guys for tuning in again to On My Hustle Reloaded. I am your queen, YaYa. And
hey guys, thank you for tuning in to another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. It's me, Queen YaYa, and
hey, people. Thank you for tuning in to another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. It's me, your girl, Queen YaYa. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. It's me, Queen YaYa, and we hey, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. It's me, Queen YaYa. Hey, people. You know what time it is? It's time for another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. It's me, Queen YaYa. Hey, everybody. Thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. It's me, Queen YaYa, and we're here today. Hey guys, I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode, actually, the final episode of the season of On My Hustle Reloaded with me, Queen YaYa, and we don't have a guest today. It's just me. So this episode is basically us just giving a reflection on season one, and the good moments, the moments that took your breath away, all of that. So we're just going to break it down and we're going to have a good time, and let's stay tuned. Let's get to it. So the first segment I want to talk about is elevation of craft. Now we had many artists on here, but when it comes to people who are talking about how their craft was elevated through their journey with their music, there's a few artists that stood out to me the most. And first I want to begin cut. Marble for real. Okay. So like I said, we're going to talk about elevation of craft. So the first artist I want to get into is the first artist we ever had an episode with is Don Kingdom. Now, if you guys remember episode 1, it was filled with spontaneous moments and a lot of laughter. Don has unmatchable energy, I swear. Like, how he is, if you guys ever watched it live, that's how he is in person. And one thing about Donnie that stood out to me is that when we were talking about how he's from Sacramento, and a lot of the artists, in Sacramento, when you listen to it, it's heavy with, being in the streets, gang culture, and how his music stood out. So it was very interesting for him to really go into talking about, how his childhood with his grandma and, his dad passing played a big part, and how he, how he is with his music and how he is Donnie. And it was really interesting that from watching his videos, from him just being this kid with, I'll call him the kid with the hair, because his hair. Kid with the hair, it seemed like he was just rapping with his friends, to like a person who's really versatile with his music. Like, if you guys ever listen to Don's music, it's very versatile. You can get happy, you can get, emotional, you can get a little bit of him going through it with depression. Like, he's very honest in his music. So to meet somebody who's very serious about their craft and comes and starts to become their own person, and watch them literally elevate through videos. And he's one artist that his visuals, you can see the growth. And it's a lot of artists, they have more songs than they have videos. And Don has about both. He has as much videos for me personally as he has music. So when you actually watch his videos, you get to see the growth in him as an artist and how authentic he is even through videos, and you're getting him is mind-blowing. So, like, for sure, as far as elevation of craft, Don will be one of the artists that I will put in there.
I want to ask you, why rap? Like, as we talked on spoken lyrics, so about what does art mean to you, and with art you have many different ways to express it.
Yeah.
So for you, why rap? Like, what do you want to leave on this world through your music? Like, what do you want to imprint on this world?
I got you. That's a good one. That's a good question. No, well, I'm not gonna lie. I didn't always rap. Like, I've always like rapped. I guess I wouldn't say rap. Like poetry. The time came in school. Like that was fun. I got the haikus was lit. You know what I'm saying? Like,
Haikus was
yeah, but I was more into like writing, like creative writing. I was all about creative writing and like just English. But then it came down to like spelling, and I'm like, hell no, English, that's done. I'm done with that. Like that's too much work. But then it got like into like middle school and stuff. We had like the actual music class after like recorders. You know what I'm saying? Like, and I wanted to play the saxophone. I'm not gonna lie, I wanted to play the saxophone. Super tough. I thought that was the. I do not.
And as for another artist I would put in there, it would be Marciano YR. So if you guys watched episode 2 of Marciano YR, another artist from Oakland, California, so East Oakland, California to be exact, but we talked about when, asking Marciano, has he always wanted to be a rapper? And he said no, he wanted to be a comedian. And it was crazy because like when we actually talked about him, because he also produces, about the first song he ever made. And it's crazy when you ask a lot of artists about the first song they ever made, and you ask them if it was good, and some of them will be like, yeah, man, it was good. But he honestly was just like, no, it was not good. And talking about, how him being a part of his group 5 Star went through many different phases. He said they had party songs, and it was the hyphy movement, and just how he had to really come into his own, and how he takes the time to not release so much music anymore, but really take the time to work on it, just to make sure when he finally does release it, you're getting him. You're understanding that even if you don't know Marciano personally, when you listen to his music, you'll know who he is as an artist. And I feel like as an artist, it's really, really important that you stamp who you are in your music. So even if people don't know you, they can listen to your craft and be like, I know who he is. I have an idea who he is. So I would say Marciano for sure will be another artist that I would put in elevating of his craft, for most definitely.
Name of the first song you ever did?
Ooh. First song I ever did by myself?
Yeah.
I recorded to Jay-Z and Eminem Renegade on the Blueprint 1. That's the first song I ever recorded. No, it wasn't. Myself, like by myself,
Yeah.
just only me?
Yeah.
Yeah, it was Renegade.
Would you still slap it to this day?
No, I've heard it recently, and it's cringy. It was a lot of random, very nerdy punchlines and goofy shit. But I was starting out just trying to find myself and touch it.
So how do you feel like from that Marciano to this one, how do you feel like you evolved as an artist?
I want to say starting out, the music changed one. So music around me changed. So it was coming up. The first album that made me want to start rapping is Fabulous Ghetto Fabulous.
And another artist I want to talk about is Grizzy. Now, Grizzy for sure, I would say, is one of the stars in this segment, because he said something to me that was very interesting, is that when we talked about him not cursing and how he wanted his family to be able to listen to his music and how that's very important to him. And I never thought about it like that until he said it, because, we all like our music, and, some of the music that we like isn't always appropriate for our elders. And for someone as young as him to literally go and change the way that he raps and change the way his image is, just so that he can share, his music with his family so they can be a part of it, for me, that speaks volumes. Because not a lot of people do that. They're like, oh, well, my mom just can't listen to this, or my grandma can't listen to this. But like when you want to make music so that everyone can listen to it, that shows how passionate you are, and it shows that you care about what you're putting out there and how people are receiving it. Because like I said, you have a lot of people, younger people, who are very impressionable. So for somebody as young as him to take that, what he's doing, and make sure that when you're receiving his music, that it's universal and everybody can listen to it. I say, as far as elevating, that's damn near as more for in the morality of it. That's high as it goes. Just to make sure that I can make sure my kids, my grandma, my aunts, my uncles, my aunties can listen to this. You know what I'm saying? Like I felt like that was very, very, very important.
I'm starting not to curse in my songs because I heard a song, one of my own songs. I listened to it back, and I said nigga a lot, like, and it irritated me. And my mom already don't listen to my music, but that's something that I would not want her to listen to. Just a nigga, nigga. She don't like my niece and nephew listening to music like that, other music like that, and it's not a lot of other music that's not cursing, so they really ain't got nothing to listen to in my mom's house. So, I'm gonna give them something to listen to in my mom's house. Some cool, non-cursing shit.
And also want to give a big props out to Snook the Word as well. Just because, like I said, another person who, when I asked him in his interview, did he always know he wanted to do music? And no, he wanted to be in the NFL. And how, it just started off with him just literally playing around with his friends and, not really taking it seriously and just, doing stuff, and then realizing that music was his way of expressing himself. Music was his way of being able to say things to people or just tell you what he's going through his.
Would you say with the music that you're putting out now compared to when you first started, would you feel like there was an elevation?
Yes, I could say I got more expressive. It was one point, I first started, I was kind of, just shy, giving a care. I really care what people think, I once one thing I can say, I'm thankful for an old friend of mine. He told me, it's when you actually don't give a fuck what comes out your mouth when you actually get better. Because at that point you don't care what people think. You really just coming out, you really saying what you feel.
Yeah.
I came to grips with that. At the end of the day, shoot, not everybody is gonna like what come out like you or what's come out your mouth. As long as you satisfied, comfortable with yourself and others is, hey, I have nothing to be mad about.
And I can't even speak about people taking their time to put out music without talking about young I.K.E. I finally said it right because I was calling him young Ike first, y'all, because what he told me is it is Ike, but it's I.K.E. And one thing about him that I really did admire when we had the interview for the last episode is when he talked about, like, he wants people to really get him when listening to his music, and that, he may not release a video every 6 months or every few weeks, but when he does release it, it's something you're not going to forget. When he does release music, it's something that's going to stick with you. You're going to be able to listen to that project for the next 6 months to a year, probably more than that, because he took the time to work on it. And I specifically put artists like him in this category because these are people that I personally felt like, they really are very intricate with how they work. And they really take the time. Like, you may be waiting on a young I.K.E. album, like, hey man, it's been a year. But when you finally get it, you're gonna be like, hey, it was worth it. Like, this shit dope. And I just think when you have an artist that literally takes their time to work on their craft, just to make sure what they put out this time is not gonna sound like what they put out last year. They're gonna give you a whole new artist. And I feel like artists like that are timeless.
I feel like I don't want to just be a single artist. So I feel like a body of work can really show my craft.
Yeah.
So, I take my time. I want to present something always amazing. So I guess it's a not taking so long. And I do apologize to the fans, but I feel like when I do present something, it's always some good body of work. It's always great. It's always something that they can listen to for that year. They don't have to feel like, oh, they be rushed for something else. I feel like that music, that one body of work that I do for a year, it kind of can be timeless. It's gonna get them through that year.
So for that category of elevated music, I want to give a shout out to Young I.K.E, Snook the Word, Grizzy, Marciano YR, and Don Kingdom. So I want to give you guys a special shout out. I want to thank you guys so much for coming to On My Hustle Reloaded. Hey guys, so just because we did segment 1 does not mean there's not another one. So this next category I want to talk about is a category that I kind of titled myself. I call it reality rap. And I call it that, well, first I want to give a shout out to NWA because that's where reality rap started. But when I say reality rap, I say that to say people who give you their reality through their music. Like, they're very honest with who they are, how they live their life, and you literally are listening to them tell their story. So without further ado, let's get into it. So the first artist I want to give a shout out for reality rap is Risky Baby. Would you say your music is a direct reflection of who you are?
Yeah, for sure.
So who are you?
I'm risky. Shit. I mean, I done been through a lot of shit. So the shit I talk in my raps is all facts. I just be, feel me? I can't really, feel me, fantasize or rap about the, feel me? Like, feel me? Fancy cars, shit like that, or feel me? $1 million, feel me? Cause, feel me? I ain't there yet, like, feel me? So I just rap for me, rap my life.
So I want to give a shout out to Risky Baby for being a part of this category, even for coming on the show. I really do appreciate it. And also, I want to talk about Grizzy.
Man, that song, to be honest, that song is crazy, cause that song it was really about this year specifically, but in my whole life I've been losing people. I've been in '08 I lost my brother, and probably like a year after or two I lost my grandma. I lost my sister last year, and I lost in 2019 I lost my sister. Rest in peace, Ranisha. And last year in 2020 I lost my partner DJ. I just been losing niggas back to back to back to back. And Red Eyes, that really explained, like, how I'm feeling, but people won't know how I'm feeling because that's the person I am, and how I hold myself up. But I'm really going through it inside. You feel me? And that's really how I be feeling. And my music is gonna put it there for me.
And I also want to give a shout out to Don.
Like me, I guess, like who Donnie was and like how I was. Like you can tell a story about somebody, but like you can listen to my music and be like, this is how he was right here through my song, through my video.
I will say, like, listen to your music, it's very visual. So it's like I'm picturing what you're doing as you're telling me about it. So it's like the fact that the storytelling about it is very nice.
Thank you.
I like that.
That's also something I do in music. Is like, damn, I'll be rapping about it. I'm like, what am I doing today? For the most part, it'll be how I rap it. Like, yeah, what did I do today, this week? Like.
So I want to give a shout out for him, and I want to give a shout out to the rest of the artists that are in this category for reality rap: Risky Baby, Grizzy, and Don. Like, you guys, y'all one of them ones, and I want to give y'all a shout out for that. So, thank you. Now, this category is called "Are We Confident?" Because for me, there were really two artists that kind of gave me the "Ooh, he confident" vibe, because you can tell them nothing. And first artist I want to mention is Young Pops, and I feel like I want to put him in this category because Young Pops is so confident in who he is and his style of music that you can't tell him nothing. And I feel like that's special as an artist because you are stone set in who you are, and you know this, and you're able to, you're able to sell yourself, not sell yourself, but you're able to, advertise yourself in a certain way and stand your ground, and you don't change. Influences like in your childhood that made you feel like this was where you wanted to go?
I mean, I've been doing this. I just don't do it like it's a job.
Okay.
It's more than a job.
I want to give a real big shout out to Young Pops for being in the category of "Ooh, he confident," because if you ever meet him and he talk about his music, you gonna know, "Ooh, he confident." So I want to give a shout out to Young Pops for that. Also, in this category, I want to talk about TTT. It's TTG Dree. I want to put him in this because one thing I respect about Dree was that when he came here, you felt his presence. And a lot of artists, a lot of times, they're not they focus on stage presence, but when you enter a room, you have a presence. And I felt like when he entered the room, you knew who he was. You knew that, okay, this is Dree, and let's I'm ready to see what he has. And he was just so confident in who he was, and he owned who he was. That was probably the only artist I think that we interviewed here where I was like, your first song was cool. He was like, yeah, all my shit good. And it was funny because when you ask for that question, they usually are like, nah, bro, that my first song, I ain't gonna even lie to you, that it was kind of trash. But he was just like, no, all my shit good.
Other artists, you feel?
Definitely. Cause I go crazy, feel me? A lot of niggas just be bullshitting, you feel me? They just throw anything on the beat, you feel me? So anything I got, like from old shit to new shit, feel me? It was all authentic shit for sure.
So how long have you been doing music?
Like, shit. I mean, I've been taking it serious since I was like 3-4 years ago. But I've been rapping. We've been rapping since young niggas, middle school.
You remember the first song you ever made?
Nah, don't.
On a scale from 1 to 10, how good was it?
All my shit was good. MySpace shit,
All
I
of
be
it from the
surprising
beginning?
myself. You know how you go back to shit, I be like, damn, nigga was tripping. Oh my God. I rate myself a 10.
A 10? Even back then?
Even back then, yeah.
So when you see somebody who lets you know from the beginning to the end, like, this is me, and yeah, I'm popping, I feel like that's an artist who, like I said, with Young Pops, who is established in who he is, and you're not gonna take away from that. Like, you're gonna get them no matter where you are. And I want to give a big shout out to Young Pops and TTG Dree from being a part of this category of Oh He Confident. So shout out to y'all, and thank y'all for coming to be a part of On My Hustle Reloaded. So the next segment I want to introduce is, you heard what they just said? And that segment is basically about people who came on here with their little lingo, and I asked about it because I was like, what that mean? And I feel like moments like these are important because it's important to the culture, and it's important to, our I call it our Oakland culture. It's important to it. It's important to our Bay Area culture. And having people who have their own slang is catchy, especially with social media nowadays. Like, you say one thing, and the next 5 minutes, everybody in the world is saying it. So I want to give a shout out to these artists, particularly for coming on here and having their little lingo, and us being like, oh, you heard it first here on OMHR.
One of them ones is just because, like, yeah, I feel like I'm different. I feel like I'm one of them ones. And I was telling the OG about one of them ones, and he was like, or I told him about my tape, and he was like, what's it called? I'm like, one of them ones. And he was like, that's dope, because you just say that in any reference, And he's like, that's one of them ones. Like when you just think of something good. And when the OGs know it, when people just know what it means, without me having to explain it to them, it's dope. When you say that's one of them ones, that's just, he's dope, you feel me? He one of them ones. You could call and explain anything good like that. You're like, bro, what you got, bro? I don't know, but this one of them ones for sure, bro. Like anything is good if it's one of them ones, and it's just like that.
Now, what type of sound would you describe? How would you describe your sound?
Musically, or like the beat itself, it's what I call like interstate music. That you ride to, that you vibe to. If you gotta go run a play, you gotta go, you feel me, go pick up something, drop, you feel me, just that moving music. You feel me, like when you gotta get.
I like that moving music. I like how
when you gotta really get in your bag, when you gotta really like, you feel me, when you gotta really like sit down, put a play together, really blueprint, really make sure you're moving the right way.
Yeah.
You feel me? You have to move a certain, you feel me, you know how that shit go. So when you gotta really sit down and blueprint, you might have to do it while moving. Everybody got that move music that they listen to when they need to get into that bag. I feel that's just what I mean.
And this is the category of, you heard what they said? So thank you for tuning in, y'all. Let's move on to the next segment. Okay. So I can't even keep going without talking about the games that we played this season. Now, if you guys watched, you know that we really had fun when it came down to these games. It brought a lot of people out of their element. It shows you who knew their music the most and who knew other music the most. You should let me.
Let me beat it.
Ooh,
What song was that?
Let me do it again.
Do it again.
You should let me.
I don't know. What's that?
He had the braids.
The braids.
We had cut his hair off.
Cut his hair off.
You should let me.
I don't know. You talking about Bow Wow?
No, it's Mario. You should let me. You should let me love you.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. Ready? Let's take a long walk around the park after dark. Find a spot for us to spark.
Sweet I don't know the words to that, but that's.
Sam, tell you, it was a lot of Asian that's not on this
Just,
card.
I don't know. I know that song. I just know it's vibration, sweet vibration. I don't say vibration. I know that song, but
Conversation.
That was the song.
Do this for the fam. Pain in my heart, so I do not laugh.
Feel the pain in my heart, so I do not laugh. Damn. Pain in my heart, so I don't laugh. Damn, I did this song yesterday. I performed it yesterday. Did you do multiple songs from the same ones? They're all different songs?
Mm-hmm.
Pain in my heart.
There might be one song that has two.
Pain in my heart, so I want to ask. Fuck. I can freestyle for you. No, I know
that for later.
No, hold on, come back. That one is on the tip of my tongue. You know what's funny though? My friend was talking to me about this last night. He was like, "Hey, bro, we should do a song." He's like, "How does it start?" And I was like, "You can't play the beat? Just play the beat real quick." Pain in my heart, so I don't know. I just said that the other day. Don't play. I'm mad because I know this song. That's why I'm hot. Like,
and
it's
you
not.
actually performed it on spoken lyrics, so
Yeah.
So that's.
Oh, shit. That was the first song I did. No Company? That is Company?
Yes. Yeah, you got the title, but can you defend it?
Strike and star. Thank you.
Can you just get one wrong so I can have a point?
So should I just throw the fight real quick for you?
Just one card
on camera. I don't want to lose on camera. This is my first time on the show. I'm gonna be the undefeated dude. Undefeated, bruh. That's my name.
Undefeated, bruh.
Undefeated, bruh.
That's hey, you heard it here first. On my Hustle Reloaded exclusive slang. Undefeated, bruh.
Undefeated, bruh.
Marciano Shakur. To live and die in Oakland. Always cross my T's and keep my eyes open. All the obstacles made it a mission impossible. Made it mission impossible. You can't beat us or join us. Being an op is optional. That was nice, by the way.
Then I say, Nas said the world is mine. Pac said I got the juice. Hova told me take over. Big Papa told me pocket. My Angela.
Yes. Home of the band from the league if you take a stance on a knee. But we got the freedom to lean so we can stand on our feet.
Till we can't stand on our feet.
Till we can't, my bad. Till we can't stand.
Don't let your head hang off the Rain Project. You know what I'm talking about. It's a lot of these. I don't know. You play this? Yeah, okay. I don't think it was this many cards last time I watched the show. She got hella. She really trying to stump me stuff. Is this the hard one?
Yes.
Okay, cool.
Hard to sleep once you wake up. Ignorance is a luxury. Luckily, I pick up the pieces these niggas puzzle me. I'm they eyes and ears they only see and hear cause of me. I'm moving forward like they know me for doing. Making
I wrote that twice.
That
For
five
doing
ring.
making that 5 ring. That's that Kobe influence.
Very Kobe influence. All I want. Make sure. Oh, is it? Let me see. Look. Show people.
It is.
Undefeated. Shout it.
Undefeated, bruh. Here, just take the header of the game too.
I beat the game on nigga hard mode. What you talking about?
What? Anyways.
Prolific. A lot of people around these days can't be prolific. Lying, scheming, scamming. That's not honest. I don't know. That's all I got. I'm gonna give that point to him. Just off the strength.
You know what you needed to do? Just use the word. All you had to do is actually use the word prolific. You said the word. You didn't use the word.
Okay.
All right. Okay. Batman. That's what all right. I gotta get it, understand though. I ain't even tripping. Even if Batman came through the window, I'ma knock his ass down. I ain't even tripping about around and around or some other shit like a crown or put it together, smash it up. Now it's on the.
I'm gonna get it. No, I can't rap, so mine can't be better than yours. Battle. Okay. We battling. He already lost. I won because I got the sauce. Thank you, I won.
Cheers. We got ourselves a W. Free. Shit. All my niggas, they free shit. Block 23 with a switch, don't bleed shit. 2 bars though?
Yeah, I feel like I should get that though because you didn't get the first one. It made a lot of sense when I was in my own music because now like games like this literally it's helping me just come up with song titles on the spot and be like, you know what? Let me just sing and see what come out. So I want to appreciate all the artists who came and played the games with me because y'all have helped me get better with me being able to step out of my own shell. So I want to say I appreciate you guys for that. And this has been the segment of games.
On My Hustle is, we ask you to just leave us with a few bars before you leave.
On My Hustle Reloaded, we are all about the lyrics. So stay tuned because you about to catch Risky Baby doing exclusive verse here for us. So I want to thank you guys for tuning in to On My Hustle Reloaded. So stay tuned for an exclusive verse from Marciano YR. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to On My Hustle today, Reloaded. We reload it all the time. So make sure you guys stay tuned for an exclusive verse from Grizzy. We want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded with me, Queen YaYa, and we had Young Pops in the building. So stay tuned for an exclusive verse by Young Pops. So I want to thank y'all for tuning in to another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded with me, Queen YaYa, and for the first time ever, we got a double feature. I want to thank you guys for tuning in for another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. We're about to get into an exclusive verse from Snick the Word. Stay tuned. I want to thank you guys for tuning in. Now let's get into this exclusive verse we about to get from J Parquet. I want to thank you guys for tuning in to another episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. It's been a good time. We got into some real actual factuals today. So make sure you guys tune in every week for a new episode of On My Hustle Reloaded. And let's stay tuned for an exclusive verse from young I.K.E. I want to leave you guys with this poem. So, here it goes. Stimulations. Stimulation isn't just physical. Shit, what more can you offer me than just dick and a smile? Because I can fuck myself better than you can. Call my own name. But baby, can you fuck me mentally? This poses the question. Is sexual attraction more important than a stimulating conversation? Fuck jumping my bones. Let's take sex out of the situation of a situationship and let's have a simple conversation. Like, what do you even really know about me? Shit, I have hopes. I have dreams. Shit, have we even talked about my spirituality yet? Other than your need for my sweet nectar, what else are we talking about? Because the story between these walls can make sweet notes rain. So again, what can you do for me mentally? Stimulations. Thank you. So as I mentioned earlier in the reflection of the season, I want to thank you guys for tuning in. It's been beautiful. I want to thank everyone who has tuned into every episode. It means a lot to us. And just know that for season 2, we coming back bigger and better. So stay tuned.
Do I go? Do I stay? I don't know. I don't know. I don't know. Fighting don't seem to solve anything. No.